Okay, if I'm right, my laptop is saying I am live. I'm apologising for my delayed start. This is the Globe LITOR Review Live with myself, Roxanne the Globalist Denier. Just going to give everyone a minute to get themselves in the chat room. This was a little bit of an impromptu live. We had a little bit of a change of plans this evening, which is okay. Everybody's only human. The guys are driving just now and finding somewhere to park up for the night and sleep. I was on Sun and Moon Family earlier on this evening with John Smith Global, Jason of the DISBURY family, Lifting the Lid, Trinity 4, Astral, and then Flat Earth Dude came in later on. And the guys were extremely tired. We had them on for about an hour. They gave us a lowdown for everything that happened today in Chelmsford and Ipswich. Today was a jam-packed day. Dave, Jason and Harry were out there in Ipswich and Chelmsford today, and the day started off with an incredibly early start with the BBC radio interview. So their day was epic. I can only imagine how long that must have been for them today. I've got quite a few clips. So for everybody that's tuning in, if you haven't got the time to watch all of this now, it will be there for you documented. I'm hoping to fit everything into about an hour and a half this evening. A little bit later than expected, but I had a really nice time on Sun and Moon and I wasn't like trying to rush my time there. So thank you so much to you, Karen, for doing that this evening. Massive love to you and to you, Astral Thief. I hope Patricia's all right. I think Karen said she was sleeping. And cheers to Flat Earth Dude for coming in as well. So massive love to you guys. And if you haven't already done so, go and check out Sun and Moon Family United. Great channel, great platform, loads of diverse subjects spoken about, loads of brilliant guests on her panel. So go and check that out. Massive love to you, Karen. And yeah, the guys, they're on the camper van this evening, but I've got an array of things to show you this evening. I've also put a load of channels in the description box for some people that have been involved in the tour, the likes of Chris UK, John THOR, and Dave Manning, who was there today. So if you go into the description, you'll see a load of links in there for how to donate to the tour, how to subscribe to channels that are involved in the tour, and various other links as well, like a bit of a one-stop shop for information for where you can get more info for how to get in touch with people, more info of how to watch people's channels, look at people's contents. Most people have got direct links for communication on their channel, so you'll be able to email them, and all that information as well as on the Global website. So yes, thank you for tuning in. I'm presuming that most of you that have tuned in already know that you're not on one of these. Yeah, can we all safely say that we're not on any of these here? Because that's what I'm starting this conversation on. I'm starting the conversation on the basis that we do not live on what we've been taught that we live on. So if anyone's tuned in and they're not already aware of the fact that they're on a flat plane of existence, sorry to burst your bubble or anything, but you're not on a ball, mate. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. And if you already know you're not on a ball, you know what I'm going to talk about now. So today was Chelmsford and Ipswich. However, the day started with an interview. So I've got a couple of clips that I want to play for you to begin with. One of them is from Lifting the Lid's channel, and one of them is from John Smith Global's channel. And those two clips, I'm going to come to the chat room in a minute, by the way. Those two clips probably going to take about 20 minutes to get through. So I'm just going to go into the chat room just now and see who is in there. And again, I apologise for it taking me a little bit longer to get live this evening. It's only so many hours in the day and I'm doing my best. If it was up to me, I would have been up on earlier on. However, I didn't have enough time to go live before Karen's feed and I ran out of time with the boys after. So again, I just want to say thank you to Karen for doing that this evening. It was really nice to kind of you know, get an insight into where Harry's head's at with things and how he's dealing with being on the camper and all the interactions he's having. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So in the chat room this evening, I want to say thank you for tuning in to Tapper777. Thank you for being here, my darling. John THOR, thank you for tuning in, sweetheart. Tommy Rogers, thanks for tuning in. Jamie Brown, nice to see you in the chat room, darling. Cheers for tuning in. Stephen Watson, thanks for tuning in. Amanda F.E., thanks for tuning in. And Just making sure I don't miss anybody out. Flat Earth Trav, thanks for tuning in. Ricardo, thanks for tuning in. Flat Earth Life, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, as I said, the 007, thanks for tuning in, my darling. I'll take it you're back from your gig. Hope it all went well. Yeah, I've got a few clips, and the first one I want to show you is a little bit of a montage of some of the bits and pieces that have gone on the tour so far. And I thought it would be quite a nice way to kick off the live stream this evening. So I'm going to pay close attention to what I'm doing here so I do it right. And I'm going to, I think I am anyway. Okay, present that to everybody. You lot should be able to see what I see now with a bit of luck. She says, hopefully. Here we go. Okay, so I reckon you guys can see that with a bit of luck. If anyone can see that, let me know in the chat room. Now, I'm going to try and go for this whole full screen thing. The last time I tried that, my laptop just was not interested in trying it, but I've done a few things to my laptop since, so here's hoping. I don't really like the small screen view. So this is on Lifting the Lids channel. His channel is in the description box, and yeah, sit back and enjoy. Yes, Jamie, I have seen it. And do you know what? After these two clips, if anyone has seen Lifting the Lids documentary, I've seen it. And yeah, by all means, give your feedback in the chat room.
You know, if someone's grown up with something and that's their truth for 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years of their life, they're not going to let that go easily, you know, because it's demoralizing. It's also taking away from their ego as well.
Well,
you know, so
I think you just hit it. I think it's the ego that prevents people admitting, or I believe everyone else told.
They feel they lived a lie for their life, you know, that's a pretty sad feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
but then it can be empowering and exciting as well.
I think it's mindset as well, as you said, mindset makes
Yeah.
difference, you know?
I'm a primary school teacher. I've taught other kids.
Are you? Oh, you're the third teacher that I've met who was starting to question this and saying, should I be telling children this?
Well, actually, I left teaching because of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Really respect to you then.
Well, you know, it's a very big problem, and I think what you're doing is very impressive.
You think we're the only planet?
Nobody's been to space.
Do you think we're the only planet?
No, I don't think we're a planet.
Do you think we're a planet? Do you think space exists?
No.
So you think we are the only thing existing?
No, I didn't say that. I said space doesn't exist. Can I ask you what your response is?
I'm not flat earther. I have been since 2014.
Can I shake your hand? Are you on YouTube? Do you mind if my YouTube channel? Oh, since when have you been a flat earther?
Well, my brother opened me up to about 2014.
Oh, wow.
So a few years.
So you're honestly potty.
If
You are a fool, and you're fooling yourself. You're a fool. You've got to admit it. You're a fool. You're an idiot.
No,
I'm a flat earther.
let me share it.
10 years.
10 years.
Wow. Do you know how I come across it? I'm a photographer. Also, I was filming. I have a P90X. It's so fun. Obviously, the ship was going to go over the horizon.
Yeah.
So I had this camera. So I had the camera and obviously zoomed on the boat that I couldn't see with my eyes. I thought, hang on, that's going to be over the horizon. I should be able to see that. And that's when I started flicking switches from it a little bit. I was like, hang on, that's a bit weird. So
I pray Heavenly Father that because of this user will just open his eyes to real truth, Lord, and that you will just gradually, or however you do it, Lord, just help him to see what was really
Yeah, it's amazing. Both a lovely couple, and in care of Mary, discussing death, and they see back a little. So guys, what do you think? Is it flat? Flat? Thank you very much, you both. Thank you. Saying that there's historical documents of historical experiments by Nicholson Morley, Ely's failure, Sagnac.
I haven't read anything like that.
Okay. They all went to measure the movement of the Earth because they believed it did, but they all had to conclude, written scientific literature, that the Earth does not move.
That the Earth does not move. Okay.
But that's not taught in schools. You got
It's weird because all they just try and teach facts, don't they?
well,
And if it's not
I
proven-
question that. I question whether
But you
it's all
can't, I mean, let's
fact.
be honest with you. You've got people in America who don't believe in evolution, don't you? And
We got people here don't believe in evolution.
bigger use base in America. But how? I'm sorry, I can't answer. It's too ridiculous words. I shouldn't speak in that. Thank you.
For me, I feel empowered.
Yes.
Good.
How I feel is that, yeah, I do genuinely. I feel grateful, and it was that chance listening to you on with Jeremy Varney, and having the tenacity to think, yeah, I'm going to actually, look into this and see what's going on and see if I can make sense of it and what have you. And it was wonderful, honestly.
You never know when you do something, will it impact somebody? And that Bruce.
Jason, genuinely, honestly, it's really, really made a difference because I used to look around and, question things. What you see, having a family and you're working, and, so you're constantly being controlled by distraction.
And you don't? Do you believe in the moon landings?
This is the thing, so I was brought up with NASA, and I've been to NASA, and my granddad was massive on it, and so technically, yes, I was brought up to believe in them, but the more you read into it, then it's like, nah. I don't know if we move to space.
No, good. I asked you to watch one video on YouTube. It's called "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon."
Right.
Nobody can watch that instead of video on YouTube. It'll show you how they think they're moving.
Okay. Funny thing that, so what's it called?
A funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Right.
And that's my YouTube channel.
Give you a watch, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Excellent.
Right, thank you
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you. Goodbye.
It's weird.
So it's blowing your mind a little bit.
It really is.
Well, it does to people when they first realise it's enlightened. This is huge. I mean, there are millions of people are waking up every day. Yeah. This is my
revolution. It's going to be a revolution. It's too much. It's too much light. It's too
yeah. There's going to be a knowledge revolution where people want answers and people want to know why they've been lied to.
Of course.
That's my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And this will be on YouTube.
Yeah, I will go on it for sure. Thank you, John.
You can show your hand because you've been very open-minded.
No, but really, I'm interested. If you want the truth, you just want to know the truth. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all you want.
Well, yeah.
Do your best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies, would you like a push up? Oh, well, curiosity is a great thing. Yeah, so we all believe that at 5 years old we live in a ball. Water on a ball? Come on. Yeah, water on a ball. Thank you so much for coming down.
I want to thank you for the work you've been doing, both of you. Well done, well done. We need people more like you, these guys like you. Spread the word.
Thanks very much, guys.
Nobody else is going to spread the word. The truth needs to come out.
I think if other people are viewing this and they see real people like yourself coming out, that inspires other people to go and do so forth.
The biggest thing I would say is don't shy to come out and support, because a lot of people want to think, oh, I don't want to go there, embarrass myself. You'll find that we, and this gentleman here, we've never met in our lives, but he went to school just across the street from me when I was a kid.
Wow.
And now it's the first time we're meeting again, and we're on the same physical plane of understanding.
And don't you think when you meet a fellow flat earther, there's an initial respect there? Because I know you have done your research. I know you've been confident, strong to stand up and say, I don't believe in that bullshit. Could I ask you a response? This is my YouTube channel. You think it's funny? Can I ask you why you think it's funny? And that's the vicissitude. Do you think that's mad? No, what I'm saying, you don't live on a spinning ball. But then condemnation without inquiry, is that intelligent? Condemnation without inquiry, would you class that as intelligent? and doubts and questioning things, or you're told. Lunacy is actually condemning something without inquiring into it. First of all, inquire into it and then become informed and then discount it with an intelligent argument. But if we discount something without looking into it, then we're more likely to be brainwashed. Is there any possibility that you've been brainwashed? Okay, if you don't mind me saying, I don't want you to be offensive, I'll say you are brainwashed. It's mad. I know you think this is mad. Most of us do when we come across it. But when you become more informed and realise everything you have is actually a belief system. It's like scientism, religion. It's not true. It's a world of make-believe. And you're still 100% convinced you're right. Well, I can't change that. But you don't. Sorry? Okay, you have a nice day too then. Right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, someone across it about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it took me about 6 months to kind of properly grasp it.
Excellent. So you were searching for 6 months?
Yeah, I was to and fro, and I was like, how can it be?
Yeah, that was me. I did 4.5 months, but yeah.
Yeah, long time.
Good.
And then accepted it. And then, yeah, I went to Spain, and I could see Morocco from Barcelona.
No, you didn't. You're lying.
No, it's 100+ miles away.
Yes.
So
Okay.
be able to see the very
tips
of the Rick Mountain.
Okay, but you can see it all. Yeah.
So, yeah, self-explanatory.
With independent critical thinking as a mature adult, how can water inform the steer of a ball? I could ask you without insulting you, is that a program response or is that annoying?
Burden of proof is realising yourself to basically deny conventional scientific senses.
Well, I would say the burden of proof is on the claimant.
Yeah, well, I think you're claiming against the.
But I'm questioning the proof of that thing. I'm only asking you to please prove that thing.
Well, I'm not a professional scientist, so I don't owe you an explanation.
Okay. So then, if you're being honest with yourself, sir, you'd have to say a second-hand information you believe in.
Yeah, but isn't all information that we process in our lives second-hand?
No.
No? Well, what's first-hand proof?
It's a self-evident truth that there are two entities here talking.
What self-evident truths is? Truth would be misleading on first encounter.
Can we walk before we run? Is it a fact that two entities here talking? People can be very opinionated, but when put on the spot to question the claims or give evidence, they storm off in the huff and become really uncomfortable.
Very enlightening. This is because up until about a week ago, the question that the Earth wasn't this spherical ball whizzing through space and rotating around the sun was never questioned in my mind. I've never had cause to question. In the light of bumping into you today, watching a YouTube video about a week ago, it really has opened my mind and my ears and my eyes and all of my physical senses and even my non-physical senses into thinking that we're not really being told the truth by everybody. Don't know why, not quite sure who's behind it or why they would be behind it, but something isn't right.
So why are you being sarcastic to a difference of opinion? Yeah, you're a troll.
I'm not a troll.
You're a professional troll.
I'm not a professional.
So why are you sarcastic to people? Sorry?
I'm a professional troll. I'm a heckler.
Yes,
it's different. It's an English tradition. It's like echo in the back.
I just told you that. I just told you that.
Yeah, of course.
And you denied it.
I'm happy about that. You put that on the internet too, but you think I'm a troll. I'm not a troll. I'm a heckler. Trolls follow people around to troll them. You're standing in public talking bollocks.
So the problem with this, with your science and with this is something that's all established on this complete belief system that you have to have on these theories, laid on theories. But it is. It's a belief system. Sorry.
How do you explain time?
Okay, tight. as in like twice a day, all these tides, and different heights all over. I mean, like, why doesn't the moon have, what's it, the same, what's it, gravitational pull on every part of the Earth? And yet you've got, so every part of the sea.
Because the differences in gravitational effect of the moon over the surface of the Earth.
Okay. So it's not gravitational pull.
No, it is. It is gravitational
effect,
it is, but it is due to the difference in gravitation. It's not a first order effect; it is a second order effect.
Okay.
Because the variation in the moon's gravity creates some areas where the acceleration is more towards the moon and some areas where it's further away.
Okay.
And actually, it's not just the pulling out; there's also
So why large bodies of water, like, I don't know, like the Dead Sea, Black Sea, and all that? How come that they've got no tides? Is it not? Does the moon not have any pull on them, or there's a second effect?
I have.
Have you? Around it?
What is he filming though? What are you actually filming?
Is it around it?
It's YouTube channel. It's round.
It's round. Okay, that's fine. No, we know what category you're in. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
Awesome that you're doing this, and I love the fact that it's coming out.
We're wearing badges today that we got from David Gessner. Massive thank you to David Gessner. Also for these that we're going to be handing out. We've got loads, thanks to David. Massive thank you for sending these over to us. They're really cool. They look like they're very hard wearing, durable. And thank you to David, because we're on the website as well. So it's like a one-stop shop. So we're going to be handing these out today too. And Kimmy, I brought your stickers up, and if any flat earthers come out to meet us, I'm going to be giving them the flat earth stickers that you made.
So that is the video that Lifting the Lid put together for the sequence of events that have come up to now. And I'm now just going to flick to the interview I wanted to play you guys from this morning. And that video I just played you was pretty much a synopsis of everything that has kind of happened up till now. So with that being said, as I said to you, Harry and Jason were ready to receive a phone call from the BBC in, where was it? BBC in... okay, you're probably going to hear it on the phone because it's just literally left my mind. On that note, I should have written it down. BBC Nottingham. BBC Nottingham. So it's not the whole 18 minutes 20, because obviously Harry and Jason do quite a bit of talking either side of the interview. But for those of you that haven't heard it, I'm just going to play a few minutes of it just now.
Hey, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Is it not for this time?
Hello? Oh, yeah, it's FaceTime.
I think they're doing a FaceTime. So I just wanted everyone to see this because of the representation of how technology is when you're trying to just do something.
Connection problems straight away.
Connection issues with them straight away, right?
Hello.
So that was like 2 calls in.
Very well, thank you.
Because there's something wrong with FaceTime, is it okay to just conduct the interview on the phone?
Absolutely, that's fine, yeah.
It's lovely. Andy and Sarah will be with you shortly.
Who are we speaking to?
Andy and Sarah.
Andy and Sarah, okay.
Thank you.
So Andy and Sarah, they're supposed to be speaking to.
Harry. Good morning, Andy. How are you?
Good, yeah. How did you find Nottingham?
Excellent. We had an excellent response. Myself and Jason DISBURY went down into Nottingham, and we were joined by 3 other people. One, our very good friend, Dave Manuel, and his wife, and another 2 friends.
What about the people that you spoke to, though? What were they saying to you?
Well, it's a complete range of reactions. A couple of angry people, but on the whole, people were open to talking about the subject matter. There were some flat outs that came along. So it's a complete range. But on the whole, it's very cordial and very respectful when we host the conversations. Well, firstly, the word belief, especially myself personally, I try to eradicate that in my belief. I think all of us do not believe the earth is flat. We know we're not living on a spinning ball, and we have so much evidence to show that we do live in a flat plane. Although we don't like to. Most of the people that you come across think you don't. They'll think that you're wrong, certainly, and they'll think that the way that you're going about what you're doing probably indicates that you're not of sound mind. So how do you deal with that? Well, I would. As I say, very cordial and respectful, and they know that this subject is a growing matter. There are millions of people waking up to it and admitting to themselves that all they ever had was a belief. And we don't have beliefs. We don't want to. And acquiring intelligent mind needs more substance than a belief or an ideology or CGI images. You need more substance than that. So. But there is evidence. There is so much evidence that the earth is round. Well, all the people think to space and see it. All the satellites that look at it. I mean, they're listed evidence. What makes you think all that's wrong in your mind? Well, could you give me one point rather than just a few? What's your number one proof that we actually live on a spinning ball there? All the scientists who studied all of this and say it is. Yeah, but could you give me one particular or one proof that you think you live in a ball rather than referring to second-hand information? Right. Well, I've personally not been to the space. That's what you're asking. But I'm sure if I went, the earth would be round. Well, I was just asking for one proof rather than referring to other people who are telling you that it's round and moving the ball. Because science should be repeatable, observable, and measurable. Word of mouth, whether it's written in a book or verbally, is not proof that something exists. What about photographs? Photographs, if people research Robert Simmons, Google him and you hear him on a radio show talking about these photographs, or supposed photographs. He's a data visualizer for NASA. And he claims that they're not actual photographs, they're photoshopped. He creates them. If you look at NASA's website, you can see images of Earth apparently from space. 2012, they have one where America is taking up almost half the globe, half the globe, and then another one is showing completely small different sizes. I've realised, Harry, I'm never going to persuade you that you're wrong and I'm right, and similarly, you're never going to persuade me that you're right and I'm wrong. So let's just park all of that and go back to this whole thing of you must accept the majority of people you come across don't believe what you believe. So how does that feel? How does that feel to be such a minority? Do you think you're right? First of all, we don't have a belief. It's not a belief, it's self-evident truth. We live in a flat plane. Right. You haven't answered the question there. Yeah, I'm coming to it. Being in the majority is not proof that it's right. Even in that. How does that feel? How does that feel to you? Yeah, all the other people say you're wrong. How does that feel? There's a lot of millions of people say we're right. So we're not as isolated. The vast majority say you're wrong. How does that feel? It doesn't bother me the slightest because I know that we do not live in a spinning ball and we have evidence to prove that. So it doesn't bother me the slightest that the majority of people think I'm wrong. I'm absolutely secure with that. What about gravity? You don't believe in gravity either? I don't believe that gravity can hold water to the exterior of shapes, especially balls. That's never been proven. And that's why it's. But that's why it's called theory gravity. It's never been proven. We stay on the ground because our body weight is heavier than the atmosphere. Like a helium balloon, it's like us otherwise. So we don't need the theory of gravity. It's never been proven to explain why we're on the ground. You're not going to float away anywhere because our body weight is heavier than the atmosphere. Okay, Harry, thank you. Harry MacDonald is part of this group of individuals making their way around the country in Nottingham the other day.
Thank you, Harry, for your time this morning.
Trying to persuade us. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, That was the interview with Harry and BBC Radio Nottingham. I personally felt like they were being very condescending and trying to mock him. And I fully rated the way he kind of stayed patient and still, you know, valiantly got his point across. But yeah, you know, what do we expect from these people? I think, you know, all we can expect is for them to have some type of attitude about it. And when they do, I don't think, you know, it's worth us getting surprised. But at the same time, you know, that went out in public today. So hopefully a few people were listening to that interview and they'll take it upon themselves to go and look into it for themselves. The next clip I want to go through and play. And once I've played all the clips, I'll obviously stop screen sharing and we'll go from there. But Dave Mennell, he went out onto the tour and joined forces with Harry and Jason today in Ipswich and Chelmsford, and he was also in Cambridge yesterday. And if I'm right, I do believe he is going out to Oxford tomorrow to join up with the guys as well. And he had a really good few interesting communications with people out on the roads today. This is the live feed from today in Ipswich. Yeah, this is his second feed. So I just want to play a few minutes of this for you just to see the, you know, to give you a bit of a synopsis. I know it was a lot of feeds today for everybody to keep up with. So like I said, I'm going to try and wrap this all up within an hour and a half and give you a synopsis of the kind of stuff that was going down. And I do strongly urge you, I know time's limited, but if you do all have the time at some point to watch some of these live feeds, I hope you get something from it. So I'm just going to play it from here on in.
And say thanks for stopping by and joining in on the stream. Oh, here's a fellow. He looks like he wants to laugh at it. It's fair enough. It's the initial reaction. Let me offer him some information. Hello, sir. You look like this is crazy. Yeah, entertaining. I like that. What's your name? Julian. How open-minded are you, Julian, on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being very open-minded.
I think of myself as being very open-minded.
Cool.
I'll happily engage in debate.
Awesome. What's your best evidence or scientific measurable proof that you live on a spinning ball?
Well, observation.
Okay, no, I mean measurable, because observations can be, like, let's say we can say that observations can be wrong. People often say that they see the curvature of the Earth from their plane at 30,000 feet, but we take a photograph of that and we put a ruler to it and we find that it's perfectly level. What they're seeing is a sort of occlusion by the atmosphere that makes it seem perhaps like there's a rounding or whatever. But science would say you have to get to 60,000 feet. There's many pilots who say they can't see curvature. Okay. Yeah. So, but there's plenty of people. Okay. Well, there's plenty of people who say that.
Kind of like another material wouldn't start refracting at a different angle. Couldn't be explained just by.
Okay. Although we could talk about how more moisture in the air might occlude it, because water does cause a bending, right? But let me move on from that quickly and say that what I'm looking for.
So we've got the question of moisture.
Yeah.
So unless we were saying that there's more moisture in certain corners, in the far corners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then suddenly the light, refracts because of the higher density of particles on either side. And then I could understand. But then we would have to say that this part of the Earth is wetter and this part of the Earth is wetter. So therefore, those two parts look kind of curved.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the measurable part then, because that's what I'm looking for, is a measurable proof, something that you and I can repeat, something that we can measure for ourselves. Because what I'm bringing to you,
something that you and I can repeat.
Yeah.
We obviously learn a lot of physics and at school, and we kind of base our understanding there.
Yeah.
The things that you and I can ourselves measure with the tools that we have got are hard to get at, because what we're measuring is huge distances, huge kind of forces. And a lot of force that we measure as hard. For example, we can measure things like gravity. We can measure that, and that is measured by the force force that is exerted on any object of a given weight that we can measure.
Okay, so before I move on to the question of gravity, I may forget, I want to come back to the curvature, because curvature is fascinating. For me, it was the first thing that got me thinking about the Earth not being a ball. And that is that there is a mathematical formula that we're offered by our scientists to say that because we live on a ball of 24,000 miles circumference, there must be X amount of curvature. And they say it's 8 inches per mile squared, certainly for the first few hundred miles. So over 100 miles, 8 inches. Okay. So that's 20 centimeters per mile, so per kilometer and a half squared. It won't be exactly right? But you know what I'm saying. So when you hear that number, you realize that over 20 miles, you should be seeing about 30 meters of curvature. Over 20 miles, 30 meters of. So it's about 30, sorry, it's about 30 kilometers. Yeah? Over 30 kilometers, you should be about 30 meters of curvature. So once you look, we've got a table here you can take away with you, and you can obviously Google this or research it all yourself. But once you look at that, you say, okay, so why can't I see the buildings or a thing over a stretch of water dropping down by any measurable amount? So what we've done, when you say we don't have the tools to measure these things, what people have done is they've taken powerful lasers and shot them over 20 and 30 miles to other beaches across the way. And we know from our own common observations that when we look at a distant beach or a distant lake shore, we know that it's level between this shore and that shore. We know that instinctively, that it's absolutely level between one shore and another on a lake. And now we can go to England and see France on a clear day, and we say that should be under 100, 200 feet of curvature, and where it's all visible.
From a hypothetical point of view, can you shoot a laser beam to Mount Everest? Can you shoot a laser beam to the highest mountain in?
Okay, no, well, no, probably not. But that becomes, for me, that's almost like a Julian.
Problem that we don't have.
Well, yeah, because in science, because you're saying, because what you're saying is that, or what people say, and what I was taught was that we're just too small to see these things and measure these things and so on. Okay.
Do you think that theoretically, then, given like the strength of a laser that's strong enough that we could shine a laser beam to the highest peak?
Well, if you ask NASA, they would probably say you could shine a laser beam to the moon and back, because they tell us that they're firing a laser to the moon and bouncing it off a mirror, right? If you believe that crap, then you surely believe that you could get a laser powerful enough to shoot to Everest. Anyway, I don't think that they can. But hold on, let me move on. Let me move on. Hold on, let me go. It is a valid point.
You haven't told me that you believe that even given the technology, we could fire a laser to Mont Blanc.
Well, let me stay with what I can control. Let me stay with what I can manage, because before we scale it up, we need to be able to model it. And now I've never seen a model of anything that resembles a ball with water that spins on the outside of it, right? But what I have seen, and I'm trying to bring to your attention, is that water is always level, and I can measure it over the shorter distances, 20, 30 miles, with the laser pretty accurately. The Bedford Levels experiment was peer-reviewed back in the 1800s and approved over 10 miles. There was zero curvature using locks, locks. And then I'll give you the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is 100 miles long, and it's provably level from one end to the other. So, pardon me?
How is it provably level?
Well, because the guys who built it, says there's no flooding water. If it was not level, water would have to be moving from one ocean to the other. Right? There would be a river of water flowing from the high point to the low point. That's what we know in physics from stuff.
If you want to see any more of that communication Dave Mannell is having with that guy, I strongly suggest you go and have a look at his second Ipswich today, which runs about 49 minutes long. This second clip I'm going to play is right near the beginning of his content, actually. So I'm just going to go to here. This is just a couple of minutes of it here. And it's either that or it's not even the same one. Perhaps not. Okay. Bear with me, everybody.
Hold you down and keep you poor in the mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
That's my
speech. Sorry. Yeah. Right. I'm here now. Okay.
It's all right. Some young girls got themselves into a little bit of trouble there. Hello, young ladies. I'm here to tell you that you cannot possibly be living on a spinning ball. I know this may sound crazy at first, but the truth is, Earth has to be flat. And the reason for that Pardon me?
Are you from South?
I am.
I'm from South.
Oh, you really? Where from?
I'm from Cape Town.
Cape Town. I lived in Cape Town before I moved to London. I was brought up in Durban, though.
Oh, Durban. I
So,
can tell the accent, yeah.
You've lost your accent a bit.
Oh, I was a baby. It's my family.
Okay. I was a baby born in England and taken to South Africa, so the other way around. So but I love Cape Town. I know that when I first found out 3 years ago that the Earth might not be a ball, I started looking at the maps, and the first things that came into my mind was looking across Table Bay, and seeing land on the other side, or Table View, or all those places up the coast that you shouldn't be able to see if you lived on a ball, because it should be behind the water. I've got here a photo. The world record photo is 400 kilometers long, and you can still see the beaches on the other side. That's impossible on a ball. Well, imagine if I was to say to you in a science class, can you build me a model of the Earth?
Yeah.
And you have two choices. You either have to build it like in a bathtub or a swimming pool and make it flat and put some rocks inside to make a continent, or you have to come up with a gravity device that is going to make water stick to the underside of the ball and allow your little characters and creatures to walk underneath that ball and not actually fall off it. You know that in reality, the latter option is very hard to do. In fact, we've never done it. And it turns out that gravity is just a theory. So although we know that the Newton apple falls on the head and all that business, what does that then allow us to then say, okay, so something fell down, that means that people can now walk underneath a ball. That's a big step from something falls to the floor, yes, or if it's lighter than the air or the water that it's in, it'll rise, like an apple might rise out of the pool, or a balloon might rise out of the pool, or a helium balloon might rise in the air. A hot air balloon might rise because it becomes lighter than the surrounding atmosphere. So that's all buoyancy and density, and those things existed long before gravity was invented, the idea of gravity. But if gravity is just the dropping of something, you pick something up and it falls back down again, that doesn't allow us to live on a ball. It's just not enough on its own. And I now accept that I was brainwashed for 47 years of my life. Now 50, for 3 years I've been trying to find curvature, and it doesn't exist. The maths apparently for curvature is 8 inches in the mile squared. So over 10 miles, it's like 800 inches of curvature, just 10 miles. You shouldn't be able to see the coast of France from England, but we can see it on a clear day. The curvature is just not there. And so I know that my bathtub is a level water when it's still, and my pool is, if I had one, would be still, and the lake would be still and flat and stuff. So also the ocean. We call it water level and sea level. Therefore, ocean level is a no-brainer. I mean, it might go a little bit up and down with the tides. Yeah, I'll give you that, no problem. But it doesn't turn into like a bending, curving body of water, right? So I say that the coast on the east coast of the UK, you've got it like it's one sea level, and then you go over the landmass to the other side, to Wales or wherever, and it's the same sea level. Yeah, that makes common sense. When your teacher drew it on the board, she would have gone, or he would have gone, line, landmass, and line, not curve, landmass, more curve. And because if there was curve and curve, then boats or ships would go down the curve, and then actually when they got to the port they arrived at, they would have to turn around and go back up. But actually that's the mystery and magic of relativity says that when you get to your destination port, magically you become back on top of an Earth where everything is back down from you, rather than you've gone down and now you should have to surely come back up, because what goes down must go back up.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So those are the things, but I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just saying, please go home, research this, look at it with yes, possibly so I have been lied to. Yes, possibly that every movie has started with a ball spinning in space that makes me think that I live on a ball. Me too. But the physics of water, the natural physics of water, is that it will always find its level. And that actually, if you trust your senses, you realize this Earth is not moving and spinning at 800 or 900 miles an hour, depending on where you happen to be. And if we were spinning, like the whole atmosphere would be, you'd notice kind of forces associated with moving at 900 miles an hour. It's faster than a bullet, you know? So these are my thoughts for you, young ladies. You seem very intelligent, and of course you're from South Africa, which gives you a little advantage over your friends. That's a joke. That's a joke. But you know, so yeah, you've just made my day in Chelmsford. Let me tell you. Did you get one of these little leaflets?
No.
I have a YouTube. You can take this one. I have a YouTube channel. It's called TRINITY 4. TRINITY 4. You can, if you want more information on how wacky the world is, come and check it out. It'll hopefully lead you to other information, because it's all about you learning that you won't learn the truth if you watch the BBC. and the Netflix and all of those things. Even the National Geographic documentary channels, I used to love those. Turn that all off because they're giving you one version. There's other versions, and I can assure you that other versions are more empowering. Because where this leads to, once you realize that they've been lying about religion, they've been lying about science, they've been lying about pretty much everything, which means that the uncapped pyramid, have you heard of the uncapped pyramid? A lot of people talk about the Illuminati and like these secret societies, and on the back of the dollar bill, they've got like this uncapped pyramid, and people wonder what the uncapped pyramid is. Well, I'm telling you that you are the top of the pyramid. You are meant to be the divine creation's kind of expression on this earth. So imagine you were a beautiful light when you came into this life, and your light was either enabled to be a bright light or held back to be a dull light. And I see people, and even at my age of 50, whose light has already been so dull that they very have little life left in them, when in fact we should all be given that opportunity to flourish, to be nourished and so on. But we live in a slave system that kind of would prefer to hold you down, make females feel less, or make men feel like they have to be supermen or alpha males or whatever. So there's a lot of mind messery going on, and I'm saying that if you learn this, then you won't get distracted by this idea that you're meant to be like a Britney Spears or I don't know what reference, sorry, to use, but for you. But you know, you don't have to be, or a football star, this isn't what your life is meant to be about. It's about finding that true divine essence within you. But my science had me thinking that I was just a lucky strike, insect that came out of the slime and became a monkey and then became a human. I believed in evolution. And I believed that I was just lucky to be alive and I would die and that would be the end of it. But I had an experience, like a near-death experience, that showed me that actually we are eternal beings and that we live, I think, like eternally. And once we leave this skin, this avatar, we will go back to the creation or creator and come back again possibly. But I don't know about the comeback. I just know that you are divine and you are meant to be at the top of the pyramid. And the system would rather have its government, its queen, its all these other things, its banking system, hold you down and keep you poor in the mind, body, and soul. That's my speech. Trinity 4. Lovely to meet you, ladies. How about that? How about that? It's lovely to meet some folks that still have a slightly open mind. Have a great life, young ladies. That's kind of exciting for me, you know. I mean, imagine just those three take it and do something with it. You know, they were like a little bit, like most people, a little bit kind of, skeptical or mocking at first, I think. But I kind of got their attention, and yeah, I guess I was trying to, obviously I had that opportunity to relate to that girl on the South Africa connection, and that I think that really helps. I think that really helps. We are, much smaller, less dense kind of crowds. If
you want to see the rest of that content, I strongly suggest you go over to Dave Mannell's channel, which is Trinity 4. I put the link in the description box for his channel. I'm going to go next. I'm going to save Harry for last. And what I'm going to do now is Jason. Got some clips from Jason's content today as well. So I'm going to play a couple of his from today. And which one shall I play first? I think I'll play that one first. So in this one here, the clip I'm going to play you is from his first video in Ipswich today. And this is what I'm saying. It had such diverse communications with people. I was sport for choice, really, in which to kind of pick. If it was up to me, I would just play everyone's all over again. But I know everyone's time's limited. So I'm just going to play. This clip is literally a minute and a half.
Over the ball, the horizon. That's meant to be, but it's not. We're asking questions and saying that we don't accept. Oh, no, there you go. So that's critical thinking. So you're thinking about that. You're quite right. That's right. That's right. You're going over the ball. So if I melt it here in London and I'm going to Australia, if I put a level on my phone now, it should invert. It should. Yeah, but it doesn't. You're dead right. Yeah, they're lying to us. So. As I say, there's a website in there. Watch some videos. Check out where we're all coming from. We're being lied to. Our schooling and education. That
They don't want you to think for yourself. Oh, Mike. Could you talk to me about it then, please? No? Well, no, we'll talk. Cheers, guys. You know, yeah, all right. Cheers, buddy. Oh, yeah, no, they're looking into it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where's the ball guys? We need them to bring their ball along. We need one of those. You've got a flat board like us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Board like that.
Yeah, we work like that.
If I do a mini work, we've got a flat board like that. All builders needed something called a spirit level.
So that is clip number 1 from Jason's. Coming up now is clip number 2, which is just slightly further on in the same piece of content.
Oh, yeah, take a picture. Carry on. That's what we want people to. Would you like to leave it? There you go. All right. Yeah, the website in there. We're just asking that, you know, check out some videos and that.
I suppose I have one question.
Oh, go on, go on.
Obviously, you know, like most people would, I find it quite amusing.
Yeah, 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 I did. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But my question is,
okay.
Why?
Oh, you went straight for the why. You're not meant to do that. No, you've got to ask the facts first. You've got to find out, are you being lied to first?
No.
But we don't know. No one's been taken to court. No one's been held accountable. I've got a few theories.
One thing we know from evolution is that there are
evolution. No. But we don't know evolution.
And so, what would be the dynamics behind it? Why would there be a need to lie?
When we get them, when we put that organisation on the stand, it'd be brilliant to know. I can suspect I know, but you need to find out the facts first. When they go to a murder, when they go to a murder, you don't turn around and say, you know, like, oh, you've murdered, but I'm not going to investigate this because I need to know why first. No, you got to.
Yeah, a flat plane float.
Oh, I know, sir. No, sir. You know so. You've seen this all your life. You've just not thought about the maths behind it. You know this. Look, when you see land in the distance, you know, overseas and that. Let's say 15 miles on from, I mean, you've seen this from beach to beach, 15 miles, you can see beaches, okay? This is Dover to Calais. You're not meant to see Dover from Calais. You're not meant to see Calais from Dover. It's over the curvature. But you've never thought about it because you didn't know the maths to it. But there is maths to it. On there, that's spherical trigonometry, Pythagorean theorem. Once you work out and you're happy that that is correct, that maths, you can find land. You'll see it all day long. Every time that you go to the beach, you'll see other land and that. You're not meant to see all of this. It's over the curvature. We're meant to be on a ball.
I'm going to definitely
check it. Please do.
Great stuff.
Oh,
great stuff. It's nice to see that he went off saying he's definitely going to check it out. He's going to look into it.
All right. There you go. You're right.
Oh, look, the build up.
So can I introduce you? What's your name? Steve. Hi, Steve. So, and where are you from? Okay. Yeah. And you've been keeping up with the tour? Yeah. Yeah. All right, I see. Yeah. It wasn't. I'm sorry. Don't listen to him. It wasn't funny for me. I had a hard time. Okay. Oh, that must be. I mean, people must see, you know, as they're walking by and see. Yeah. Nice one. Yeah. I like that. I went into Argos. They had all these computers and all that, and I set them all to flat earth videos. Yeah. Oh, that's a great one. Brilliant. Yeah.
I'll just say, guys, about
Oh, Tycho's crater. Yeah.
Yep. If you want to see the rest of that communication that Jason was having, by all means, go through to his channel, which is Jason of the DISBURY family, this channel right here. Go and check that one out. This next video I'm going to play from today is Chelmsford. They did 2 destinations today in one day.
It's all correct.
And this one correct? Here, if I can pause it in time. There's 2 interactions I want to play you from this one here. This one at 5 minutes in. I found this really interesting. And this is about a 3-minute clip. And then I'm going to go on to the youths that you just saw there.
Which one's that?
Well, you'll be back when you started the game. Gotcha. Say, like, if you dug a hole right through the earth and jumped through it.
Okay.
Right. Would my feet come out first? But I think if you'd start, you'd actually like aim where you started.
So it's a conundrum, isn't it? Because like the deepest hole that we've ever, the deepest hole that we've ever dug is 7.5, 8 miles. That's the deepest. Right. We haven't got a clue what's underneath us. Science hasn't got a clue.
Gotcha.
You know, so we're asking that question. You know, like, does anyone actually think about this? You know, like, so.
Yeah, but it's an interesting.
No, in Australia they say that, you know, like they're all upside down in Australia. You know, we've actually got evidence to disprove that. Lots of evidence inside that leaflet.
So this is interesting.
It is interesting.
I'll have a look at
This guy here, Walter Lewin, he says gyroscopes are fixed and rigid in space. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And gravity has no effect on them whatsoever. But that is an artificial horizon.
Oh.
So when a plane is going round the ball globe, it has to dip its nose each time to allow for curvature of the Earth.
Right.
Okay, so because that's what the artificial horizon it would indicate to show that it's starting to. So we'd have to keep dipping it, but they don't, and even the new ones. What's it? One and the same thing. You kind of see an airplane. Ascend? You see it level out all the way to Australia and then descend. Right. But you can, if you hold your phone and put a spirit level on your phone and then lift it upside down, you see it right, the bubble and everything. But it doesn't on the plane.
It doesn't on the plane.
So we're kind of asking questions why, and we speak to people, physicists and all sorts, and they haven't got answers, which is a bit even more strange.
So you want Dawkins in on this, don't you?
Well, we want more than that. Look, this is I didn't know that there is land that we can see that we are not meant to see because it's meant to be over the curvature of the Earth.
Right.
Okay, so that's like they base this on spherical trigonometry. Okay, by Pythagorean theorem. For every mile, 8 inches square should be there should be an 8 inches square drop. Okay, and then it goes 32, and then it's like 72 or 76 or something, and it gets more and more. This photograph here was taken at the Blackpool Gazette. Okay, 2,500 feet should be hidden.
Yes,
but you can see it. The highest mountain is 2,000 feet, but you can see it.
That's not an illusion, isn't it?
Okay, this is Dover to Calais. 300 feet should be missing, but you can see it.
Do you actually believe anything to do with the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, we've almost got answers to that. That's just a no-go zone because of NASA is sending all their rockets there.
Right.
Because when they take launches and all that, you watch the trajectory, it just goes up and over and a big curve.
Yeah.
You know, so keep all the people out of the Bermuda Triangle.
Or
only if NASA have got something to do with that. Yeah, maybe.
No, it's just interesting.
It is very interesting. So yeah, I mean, like this is like one of the biggest quiz. There's lots of land that you shouldn't be seeing.
There's a lot of this.
There is. There's a website in there called FE Star. We're asking people to go there and watch some. There you go.
Okay, sorry, don't make me.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. No, you too. Well, there you go. One friendly chat in Chelmsford. Don't get a lot of them.
No, well said, Jason.
He's on the go. Here we go. It's all happening. Here you go, buddy. Take one then. All right. Any questions? I'm around here. All right. I'll leave you alone. All right.
Lovely. So if you want to see more of Jason's today, go over to Jason's channel, like I said, and take a look at the content that he put out there today. That was his second piece of content from Chelmsford today. And the next and final one I'm going to show you guys this evening is John Smith Globeli. and his content from today. So obviously I've showed you his interview from this morning. This one here, I think this lady's face here says it all. I'm hoping that you can see this on your screen. He had a good few interactions today. I picked 3. It was really difficult when I'm looking at 2.5 hours worth of content, but I picked 3 that I thought kind of gave a good representation of the, you know, differences in conversations he was having today. So I'm going to start off at about 20 minutes. And I think what you're going to get to see here is the conversation, if I'm right, with the builders that you saw in the background of Jason's video. With a bit of luck. Here we go.
Ladies, like this. You like another? Oh, what? Just what? I think it was following everybody else with a camera. Well, I was using a little stand here for my camera, but it's just, I thought it'd be steadier, but it's even more shaky than holding those 3 hands. Oh.
On that, how do I find today's video? Do you do it by dates? Do you do it by name or area?
Just go into YouTube, Johnson's Club Live, and then go to videos. Yeah. And you'll see the first one at the top. Tara, come on. Hey, where are you going with your glove? Oh, your ball.
You had a chat with one of the players and you had spirit, correct? I have done it. You've done that. I did that. As a builder, you know that if you have a small spirit level and you have a large piece of wood, you put that spirit level on that piece of wood, it's not going to be as accurate. In order for you to actually accurately measure the earth, whether it's round or flat, you would need a spirit level that's at least 25 miles long. I mean, you think about.
Can I ask you? Okay. So just make your point. Let me answer that for you. Okay, do you in the building trade use something called a laser for leveling? Right. What if I told you that we've taken a laser to 40 miles? Right. What if we've taken a laser to 40 miles and we can prove to you that it is super level from one point to the other? That's your spirit level, bro. 40 miles.
Over 10 metres, it's inaccurate. So by the time you've got to how long? 40 miles?
No, super powerful laser. It took a while for us to get to that.
Right. How thin is the beam?
Are you making excuses? I'm giving you.
No, I'm asking.
You brought me a hypothesis that says I don't have the tools to measure. Right. I'm telling you that we.
Well, I'm telling you, you have a laser. When you, from your starting point of your laser to your end point on your laser, how thick is the beam on that laser? Right.
That when we get past this, you know what a gyroscope is? I do. Okay, so a gyroscope is like a spirit level. It's spun up, but it's spun up at the ground, and once it hits that spin, it's never going to forget where its original level was set at, right? So once the pilot gets up to his cruising altitude, he sets it at 1.5 degrees above the horizon and holds his nose at that level for the entire duration of the flight until he's ready to descend. So the gyroscope is telling us that we are never curving, because if you took the gyroscope and did this and went round the ball, it would retain the original setting and the pilot would continue flying off. But you're basing that on the fact that it's a mechanical device that starts at one level, and when I land halfway around the apparent globe or a quarter around where we
gravitational pull and
well done, sir.
Hold on. Let me go back. I take a 10-hour flight to South Africa, 11-hour flight. I've gone 6,000 miles, which is a quarter of the way.
What's an astronaut standing in front of a green screen for? Why is he standing in front of the screen?
I Oh, well, is that green screen, the blue thing?
Yeah, that's just if you see him in where the rockets take off and Kennedy, President Bush has been wheeled past and he's in the background in front of a green screen. If you just stand that way. Yeah. So all these are filmed in studios. See all the harnesses there? They pretend they're in zero gravity. Spacewalk, that's filmed underwater because you can see the bubbles coming off the helmets. You can actually see a cameraman in the visor of one astronaut who's wearing a frog suit.
Yeah.
People don't research this, they just believe what they're told. This is the guy who produces these images. He says that they're not photographs, they're photoshopped. Go up to 21 miles high. Amateur balloons show you a completely flat horizon 360. But NASA show you CGI and curved horizons through the GoPro cameras.
That was on the video as well. Yeah, so that was that interaction. And if you were seeing what was going on in the background in one of the other clips I was showing you, those builders were having an interaction with Dave Mannell. So it was nice to get to see that one from another aspect. This next clip I'm going to show you is running at about 45 minutes into the content. I'm just going to play you a couple of minutes from this interaction that Harry had with this lady.
Yeah.
So do you think Earth is flat? Or?
No.
No. Do you think it's right?
Yes.
All right. May I ask you why you think it's right?
Well, because it is. A lot of people believe there's there's stuff in the centre of the Earth, everything, different places, on the Antarctic, but I don't know. I'm interested in conspiracy theories. Interested in what people believe. I don't think it's that though.
Yeah, I'm really interested in why people believe certain things.
Yeah.
Especially if it's different from somebody else.
I think it's just going against what they tell us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many ideas.
Do you think we're being told the truth through the education system and through the government?
You feel exactly close to me.
Well, it's just to pick you up with the microphone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I don't know. I'm just interested in everything. They just tell us one thing, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you read that to yourself, that black bit, and tell me if any of that relates to what you're thinking now?
Yeah, I do think I go against a lot of things that they say. I obviously believe that the Earth's round, but there's a lot of things I think they don't tell us the truth, really.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. I
don't think they landed on the moon. I think that's ridiculous. Because if they did, they would probably die because of the the atmosphere. It would be enough to kill them.
And for me, I find the difference as well. Yeah. I did it as a 5-year-old by it totally, but as an adult, thinking water can form the exterior of a ball.
Yeah.
Ball around a ball.
So what made you start believing? It was
lack of proof.
Yeah. I mean.
And common sense logic, basically.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it might just be rebelling, other ideas that did anyone try to convince you to start off with?
No, I actually came to that realisation mostly on my own without the internet.
Yeah.
So
but if you go on Google, if you go on YouTube, there's so many things you can find, like Illuminati and all of that stuff.
Yeah, but I researched the moon landing, so I knew they were fake. Then I'm asking, so why would they lie about that? Yeah. And then I find out that there are no satellites in space.
Yeah.
And there's no rockets in space. So I'm thinking, why are they deceiving us? Yeah. So then I started looking online and lots of flat Earth stuff came up.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes total logical sense.
Yeah.
Because water cannot conform to zero shapes.
Yeah.
Horizon.
If you want to see the rest of that interaction, go ahead and check out Harry's content from today. And this one here is the last one from this video I'm going to play, and then I've just got 2 clips from one more video. So this one here is much later on in the content, actually. I think we're almost 2 hours in. And it's one of the last interactions that Harry has that day. So I'm just going to play it from there. And this is just literally a few minutes here.
passed by on earlier.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So get you on my YouTube channel. Excellent. So where do you stand with this subject matter?
I'm a big conspiracy theory person anyway.
Yeah. I'm just going close to you because the mic doesn't pick up very well.
Yeah. No, with the curvatures of the earth and that, with the, like you say, with the plane, stuff like that, it doesn't work out.
No.
There's a few things that.
And like behaviour water, you know, covering to our ball.
And aliens and all that as well. So.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't talk about it. It makes you look silly.
Yeah. Well, so does this, but we're out in the street talking about it because I think it has to go through first stage of ridicule for truth to be accepted.
Yeah.
And you've got to break through that period of time because otherwise it's never going to come out unless people start talking about it.
Earlier on when I walked past the zoo, it's like being awake.
Yeah.
And awake to quite a few things. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of signs of bits and bobs as well, but I don't like talking about it. It can make them mentally ill.
Yeah, it does to a lot of people. Yeah. It's difficult to cope with.
Yeah. Well, that's it. People haven't got the understanding. When you look into it, stuff like that, and you do research, you'll find out a lot more about it.
Yeah. It just opens up other doors and avenues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The more you look into things. Well, we're visiting 50 places in 8 weeks.
Okay.
We've got about a week and a half to go. We're finishing London. So we've been to Ireland, Scotland.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
Well, the insult to my intelligence that I live in a spinning rock with water flowing like this. Stupid to think that.
Yeah.
But at 5 years old, I buy it because I bought Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Indoctrinate you while you're young.
Same as religion and all stuff like that. It's just to make believe and it's a money making thing.
And the social control mechanism as well. So
Just following the sheep.
Yeah.
Just following.
Be a good citizen, you go to heaven, do what you're told.
The government don't want you to uprise against them because they know that we've got more power than them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why, and the people who are close-minded to it all, they don't see what other people are awake to it. So basically, they follow the suit, and it's just like religion, like it's something for them to believe into, you know.
Your first word was awake. Do you think there is an awakening amongst the population, or do you think?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is. There's signs of it all. People, since the internet's happened, it's opened up a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, and people are questioning things.
Yeah, I mean subjects to it.
You know, and like religion in my eyes, and like do what you've got taught with at school, stuff like that. It's not working like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do see less and less people going to church than did, say, 20 years ago.
No, that's it. That's exactly it. That's it.
But I would like to see less and less people accepting things as truth without any proof. You know, because the scientist says that because it's on TV, therefore it must be true.
Yeah. Well, what they think of Antarctica and that as well. There's things going on in Antarctica that we don't know about. You know, I could go on for hours and hours about this. But
I just think, although, like you said, you know, there's a lot of ridicule out there. I think it has to be talked about. People have to do that for it to go bigger.
Spread it to make mass awakening, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Yeah. See, a good documentary to watch, what I've watched was Zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, Zeitgeist. Yeah. I'm quite into this sort of stuff, but I've just slowed it down a little bit now. Yeah. It can make you look too sharp.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can't concentrate on anything else. You can get so feel over your life.
You question everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. That's my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
We go around hundreds of towns, doing street views, questionnaire preconceived ideas of reality, why they believe so easily.
Yeah, no. It's like the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
And all that lot. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of stuff to speak about. I know it's just focusing on flat Earth.
Well, we're focusing in on it because we've been through every other lie and conspiracy. And we come across this, why wouldn't they lie about that? They lied about everything else. And it's a great social control to hide further land from
it. Yeah, that's what social control is. Controlling you like sheep. All they are is a name and a number in the system.
Yeah.
So the people who are shepherds, they tell them control.
And what if one of those drains was Earth? That's all this land here. But we're not going to get to see it because we think space.
Yes,
space.
Like this. You said about imagery.
Yeah, false images.
Yeah, false images and stuff like that. And they're all blurred. And all of a sudden, for when they had the moon landing, do you know what I mean? Why did that all go off for a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes? What did they see? What are they letting on? Do you know what I mean? They're not letting on. It's quite deep.
Yeah, I mean,
it's quite a deep subject.
It's just biggest lie of all, you know?
Yeah.
Or the second biggest lie, because of course the biggest lie is where did we come from, but second lie, biggest lie is...
we come from anarchy, that's what
yeah, a lot of people do, yeah.
Yeah, I think we come from that, from DNA was genetically thinking, like all the pyramids and stuff like that, are energy sources, and they're in lines with the, what do you call it, with speed of light, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So,
I mean, no, I just believe that, it's just that...
it's a coincidence,
I don't know.
it's too much of a coincidence.
Oh, I think
and the point of the degree of where it is on Earth, yeah.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction that Harry was having, please do go ahead and check out his content today from Ipswich. As I said, the content's quite long. It's about 2.5 hours long, but it's definitely well worth a look in. The second couple of clips I've got for you this evening is from Chelmsford. This one here, one clip at 34 minutes in. I'm just going to quickly go there. 34 minutes. Here we go. And then one more clip after that. With a bit of that. Okay.
Can you tell me your impressions, sir? I'm following from a YouTube channel. Can you tell me your impressions?
Of the idea? I mean, there's no such thing as a wrong idea, and no direct proof one way or the other, so very much it's up to you.
What if I told you there is proof, perhaps you're not aware of?
What's that proof be?
Yeah. Well, the proof is that everywhere you look, whatever height you go to, the horizon stays at eye level. Whether it's a plane, a mountaintop, or a beach. If I was on a ball and I send it really high, that ball would fall below my line. We're told at 5 years old, when we did Santa Claus, that we lived in a golden model, of course we remember. Now, as an adult with critical independent thinking, I'm asking you this question to see if you'll answer without a programmed response. How can water perform the exterior of a ball?
Like gravity.
And can you tell me if that was a programmed response or is that knowing?
That's the what are we told?
Yes, what I'm told.
I'd say so, from school, I suppose.
So I was where you are, and when I ever answered gravity, I was aware that's a programmed response that I cannot prove. So I've been programmed to repeat that without any evidence. When you agree, that's...
I do have one question. If this is in fact like a large conspiracy, and yes, the Earth is flat, what would the purpose of the conspiracy be? Like, who does around Earth benefit?
Well, if I go into that realm, I'm going to theory and propositions. However, I won't do for you. I like to remain with facts. The NASA get $52 million a day since the 1960s to lie to you by going to space and presenting you with cartoons and CGI images.
So NASA didn't go to space either?
No. And you can also be hiding further land, but they try to convince you you're on a ball and it's only space out there, so don't go exploring beyond Antarctica because there's space there. But what if there's far further land that's been kept from you? Yeah, well, I think what you'll find is that if you're honest with yourself and the ego is not taking over, everything you have is a belief system. We cannot verify it for ourselves. They could tell you Mickey Mouse is floating about on some light years planet. How can we verify that?
True, but at the same time, can't verify that's not true.
Well, I can, because everywhere I see is completely flat horizon. Water can not form the exterior balls. I can see distant land that I shouldn't be able to see, which is below the curvature of the Earth. There's no proof that we live on the ball Earth. All those images you see of the Earth in space are fakes. They're Photoshop images.
Then how come the knowledge of a curved Earth has been around since ancient Greek times, and when long before we had the ability to make images of curved space and curved time?
Yeah, but they couldn't prove it, could they?
They also couldn't prove that it was flat either.
Well, they could, because they just look through a telescope and you see items of our land on the horizon that is way beyond the official curvature of the Earth. So if you can see beyond where the curve is, then that's telling you it's not curved.
Why even as far back as then would they say that the Earth is curved?
Control. Just to stop people going on adventures and exploring for themselves. To keep it contained in one place, like animals in the zoo. All the animals in these large zoos, especially safari parks, they think they're free. Go where they want, they get fed, they get looked after, they're happy. They don't care if it's just land over in Australia. So if we're kept and hemmed in this area, we're not worried about that. As long as we've got smartphones and TV screens, we're not concerned if they're hiding further land. We're not even concerned if they're lying to us.
You've given me a lot to think about, and I'll do my research.
Would you like a leaflet?
Yeah, sure.
Would you like my YouTube channel?
I'm sure I'll be able to find it if I look hard enough.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I felt that was just a nice interaction of how it can go sometimes. Obviously, admittedly, it does not go like that all the time, as you're about to see right now.
Right?
What do you think? You don't think it's that, do you?
Well, I don't think it's a ball. Actually, why do you think it's filmed on YouTube? Is that okay? Actually, what?
Yeah, it is a ball.
Okay. Let's say I was another son of yours, and I said, "Mummy, oh, sorry. It's just because of the microphone.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful young lady. Why don't you like me?
So wait. So you would tell me that the Earth is flat.
No, you tell me that it's right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you.
No, it's not. It's a sphere.
Okay, I'm saying to you as another son of you. Mummy, how can you prove to me we're on a sphere?
Because we can't fall off it.
We can't fall off it?
Yeah, we can't.
But that doesn't prove the shape there. We could be on a flat plane and we won't fall off it.
No, but the Earth is round because it has no ending.
Can I ask you how you know that?
Because where is the end of the Earth? How do you think it's flat?
My eyes, my awareness.
Well, you see the end of the Earth.
No, I can see things that are way beyond the curvature of the Earth.
Like what?
The longest photograph ever taken, sorry, down here, it's 273 miles long. This is the horizon.
You've got to show your sorry.
Essentially a director. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. So the horizon there is 273 miles away. You can see that distance now required from New Ventus. Now, according to the curvature chart, how much it slopes, that horizon should be 3 miles below.
Yeah, that's because it goes down.
Yeah, but it's down here.
The cameras don't have an angle. They can't go forward and down.
That's proving it's not right. Because if it's down here, look, they're down there, it's below your horizon, so you can't see down here from here, can you? But you can there. I'm just putting it to you that at 5 years old, when your children go to school, you probably believe in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy.
Okay, but what about satellites that are outside the Earth and they've taken pictures of the Earth and it's a round ball?
Yeah. Do you think pictures are proof of anything in today's Photoshop technology? These are what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a guy called Robert Simmons. Him in a check shirt. You can Google him and listen to him on a radio show. He presents these. He works for NASA, and he says they're not photographs; they're Photoshop. He creates them. So we have no photographs of Earth in space. Do you see how big America is there compared to there? They can't both be right, can they? Sorry?
Are you a scientist?
No, I'm not a scientist.
How do you know this? Because he's got a very up-to-date camera that takes pictures of the end of the Earth.
And I've also got a question in mind. I've studied it for 4 years. There's no evidence we live in a ball.
But is there evidence that we live on a flat surface?
Yes. Water always drops to its lowest point and lies flat level. It cannot conform round balls, no matter how many times you say the word gravity. That's a physical impossibility.
So do you, okay, what about when people go out to space and there is no gravity? So how can they not, why is there no, what is gravity then? You don't believe in it?
No, it doesn't
so
exist.
how do they float in space?
Because, you know, when you do a spacewalk,
yeah,
it's all filmed underwater. If you research out, you'll see bubbles coming out of the helmets. And in the visor, you see a cameraman. And the cameraman's wearing a...
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones that actually do go up to space.
Yeah, that's the ones in space. They're showing you space, but it's just a green screen, and they're underwater.
So you don't think that they're actually in space?
Nobody's filmed it.
You don't believe at all? There's no astronauts that have gone to space?
No, they're liars. They're deceivers. It's an illusion. You can see the film The Matrix.
But then why do they want to lie to us? What are they gaining out of it?
Hiding further lands from you, and you get $52 million a day, and they have done since the 1960s, to present you with CGI and cartoons. NASA used a fisheye lens, which curves things, so nobody's in space. It's an illusion. There are millions of people on this subject. But
then how much do you get paid to try and lie to people and say the world's flat?
I get paid nothing. I do this on my own time to try to raise awareness. You know, like you can vote now as a woman. Before it was only men that voted.
Okay, but
now groups of women were out on the street as a movement, and it grew and grew until women got the right to vote. This movement is the same. It's trying to expose the lie.
What difference does it make to you for other people to think that the world's flat to be around? So what difference is it making to you now to tell me the Earth's flat and not round?
Well, it changes my life because I'm totally devoted to spreading this word. I don't really care if somebody else doesn't believe it, but I want NASA exposed. And the only way you can expose it is to tell more people that what
and
you're...
is that all that you believe that it's different? Is it all we're being lied about?
No, we're lying about everything.
Like what? I'm interested.
Well, I could be, but I could not be. It's up to you to research. It's not believe anything I've done. I've given you a reference to go and Google Robert Sitton. You can research that yourself and see that I'm not lying. Don't believe anything I'm saying, and don't believe anything NASA's telling you. Go and research yourself and find out what's wrong.
Scientific people.
Yes, yeah.
They all think believe what you see.
Yes. Well, what you see is a flat horizon, not a curved horizon.
So what are you saying about airplanes? You've seen them do what?
Did I mention airplanes?
Airplanes on here, look. Airplanes go upside down.
Well, that would have to happen to fly into Australia, would it not? How do you yes, but no. Yes, but no.
Because gravity pulls you down, yeah?
No, does it? How do I know that?
Because that's what we have on Earth to keep our feet on the floor.
How do you know that?
Because when they go up to space, they can't go on the floor. Yeah, but okay, in the world that I believe, yeah, and that I've been taught.
It's a belief.
Yeah, that I've been taught.
It's a bit like Ari, isn't it? You believe what you know.
Is that a knowing or a belief?
Belief.
So then, a belief is second-hand information. Now, can I just suggest that? Can I suggest that your body weight, as mine and everybody else's, is heavier than the air?
So do you believe this as well?
Believe? Yeah. I know that what's there.
How do you know?
Because my bath and my swimming pool and my legs.
Yeah, but that's all on Earth,
yes.
Which gravity is pulling it down.
How do you know that?
Because everyone knows that.
No, we don't. Now, your body weight is heavier than the atmosphere, so you don't can float. No. Everybody's body weight. Your children.
I'll give you an example. Like, since like if I dropped it down, it obviously falls on the floor. But if I had a bowl of water beneath that, it would float. Yeah, what happened to gravity?
So you're not on it. So you're not on it.
Yeah, but you see, because the buoyancy changed, hey, the density of the air around was thin, then it became much thicker when it hit the water. If it had been stone, it would have carried on going, yeah? Gravity would have still been pulling it. That's simply because it's more dense than the surrounding atmosphere. So this is more dense than the surrounding something. Sponge, for example, would go point, and it would sort of rest on it and pull it down slightly.
Is that making common sense?
Yeah, but then I can say what I believe and make that make sense.
No, it does make sense.
Well, when it comes to see, the only example people ever give me of water being round is a small.
I don't believe the water's round, but water can go into loads of different shapes. So if you get a container that's a different shape, if that was, it would go in there.
What if I put it on outside the shape? Would it fall off or would it stick to the outside the shape?
No, it fall off.
So what they tell you in science is that once the ball becomes too supermassive, too big for this, then it'll start to stick. No. If you've got proven, you can't see it. Physics. It will pull off whatever it's on until it gets to the bottom. The low point. And that's where it'll stop, and eventually it'll cool and make a level pool. Now imagine that was your ocean. You know, rivers coming down, and then eventually it makes a pool. We say sea level, water level, and sea level, and ocean level. And you can see from France being level, that should be like behind water, which is below water. So these are things. Don't I'm not asking you to change your belief system. Please don't think that that's what we're trying to do. Or we're trying to do this.
You're not doing it.
No, but you are obviously asking yourself questions. I can tell that there are questions being asked behind here because there are things we cannot answer.
And if you want to see the rest of that interaction, I'd strongly suggest you go to John Smith Globalized channel and go and check out the rest of that content. So on that note, I'm going to stop screen sharing now. With a bit of luck, I'll be able to do that successfully. Here we go, stop. And I'm back. Bit of luck. Okay. So that was my synopsis of the clips of the John Smith Global tour from the two locations that were done today. That was Chelmsford and Ipswich. The guys were up extremely early this morning doing the BBC Radio 4 interview, BBC Nottingham interview this morning. And then they went on to those two destinations. So the reason they're not here with me tonight, for anyone that's just tuned in, I've noticed a couple of comments in the chat room, is they were traveling late. We went on Sun and Moon Family United this evening with Karen, and it did go on a little bit late and they still had a long journey to do. So I said, no worries, I'm going to go on regardless and give everyone a synopsis of what's happened today. And I'm hoping I've done that for you in some way. I went on the tour myself a few days ago, and like I said, that was an experience and a half. The guys are going to be in London on Sunday, but tomorrow they're going to be in Oxford, and I believe Trinity THOR is going to try and meet up with them as well. They're going to be there from about midday onwards, I think. So if you haven't already subscribed, go to John Smith Global, Jason of the DISBURY, Trinity THOR. Click the notification bell. You'll be notified as soon as they go live, and hopefully they'll give you some kind of update as they're approaching Oxford. But normally they go to the kind of busiest epicenter of each city where the shopping district is, where the most traffic with people is. So if you're familiar with the area and you want to go down there and join forces, I strongly suggest you do so. And yeah, just keep an eye out for the links. I want to give a shout out to everyone that's in the chat room this evening. Tommy Rogers, thank you for tuning in. Ricardo, thank you for tuning in. Dagon Morningstar, thank you for tuning in. John THOR, you awesome mod, thank you for tuning in. Richard Lopez, hello my darling, thank you for tuning in. Going up the list, Flat Earth 101, David Gessner, thank you for tuning in, my darling. Those cards are going out into everybody's hands that we can possibly get them into. Even some people that already know they're not on a ball that have come out to the tour, we've let them go with stacks so that they can hand them out as well. We've tried to get those cards into everybody's hands possible. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, my darling. Flat Earth 101, Tapper 777, thank you for tuning in. And making sure I don't miss anybody. Angel Raven 444, thanks for tuning in. Edgar Mendex, thanks for tuning in. Flat.life, thanks for tuning in. Amanda Fe, thanks for being here, darling. I do appreciate you all taking the time out to be here. Trouble About, thanks for tuning in. Marilyn Wisby, hello, my darling. Thank you for tuning in. And to everyone, yeah, massive thank you for you all being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out to hear where the tour's at. This tour, as we were saying on Sun and Moon, it's kind of gone way surpassed anything I could have hoped it would have done. I don't know from where you guys are sitting from what your take on it is, but for me, I'm truly overwhelmed by the amount of people that have actually come out and showed that they perceive this to be the truth as well. And I think you guys have all been able to see that as well as I have been able to watch them through the live feed. So I want to reach out to you all and I want to try and answer as many questions that you might have regarding the tour. As I said, they're going to be in Oxford tomorrow, and I do have the next few dates I'm able to give you if you want. We did have a bit of an update on Sun and Moon Family this evening. They're going to double up on some dates. So Newport has now got the addition of, do you believe Jason said Swansea? And Yeovil now has the addition of Glastonbury. So if you just give me a second, and I will just get the rest of the dates up. Okay, so yeah, Oxford tomorrow, Swindon on the 27th, Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, London on the 28th, Newport, and I think it's Swansea, or is it Swindon? It's definitely, no, not Swindon, so it's Swansea. Yeah, Swansea and Swindon. No, Newport and Swansea, sorry. And the 30th will be Bristol, the 31st will be Bath, the 1st will be Yeovil and Glastonbury, and the 2nd will be Weymouth. And then the final day of the tour will be the 3rd, London. So let me just clarify. On the 29th, Newport, they're putting the addition of Swansea in there. And Yeovil, which is on the 1st, they're putting the addition of Glastonbury in there. So those two dates, they're going to double up like they did today on the 25th, which was today. So yeah, to everyone in the chat room, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of those questions to the best of my ability. Myself, I will be on the joining everybody on the Sunday, which is going to be at Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, London. And like I said, if any of you are in proximity of London and you want to come out to Speaker's Corner, I urge you all to come out. You're all invited. And on the 3rd of November, as we said on Sun and Moon, there's a free to enter event on the 3rd of November. That's going to be the end of tour finale. That's going to be held at a secondary school, a high school in London. The location is to be confirmed. We're just waiting for the headmaster to sign off. So hopefully we'll get that back tomorrow morning. And yeah, that's on the 3rd of November, which is a Saturday. That's going to be from around 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. There's going to be an opportunity for everybody to meet each other, for people to learn some more about what's going on. There's press there, so if people want to come there and give their 2 cents worth, they're more than welcome to do that. We're going to have a couple of live links from people that can't be there. And yeah, it's going to be a nice event. There's going to be free food and drink there as well, provided by many people that are putting their effort into this. So again, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been involved in this, in front of the camera and behind the camera. There's so many names that we're going to take a while on the 3rd of November to give everyone a shout out, because there's a lot internationally speaking as well. And I want to give Richard Lopez a shout out as well. He's put a massive amount of effort into this. And to David Gessner for sending those bits over, and Harry and Jason and myself, we've all worn the FE t-shirts that Daryl Marble sent over as well. So like I said, it's just feeling the love from everybody and feeling the positivity for this to get moved forward is what's got this where it is. The donations, everything since it started. There's like when I look at the list of places that have been gone through, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But we're definitely on the home straight. That much I do know. Yeah, we're going to do our best. I was speaking to Robin today, Marilyn, about Bristol. I'm going to try my best to get there as well. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I know that everybody's discussing the availabilities to get there, because everyone wants to support that. So yeah, massive respect to everybody in the chat room for being in there and showing each other love and interacting with each other. It's really nice to see that. Really and truthfully, we're going to try and keep up with the tour every day. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to do a live update, but I think to help the guys out, I'm going to do it a little bit earlier, because I feel like they need to get a little bit of rest. So I'm probably going to try and push for maybe a 7:30 in the evening, 8 o'clock tomorrow for a live feed from the tour. They're going to be in Oxford tomorrow. I do assume Dave Manuel's going to be there. So there's a possibility of 3 live feeds again tomorrow. So yeah, please check out the description. All the channels, all the ways for you to donate are in there as well. Thank you so much to the mods that are in the chat room, and thank you to all for just listening to where things are at and taking the time to roll with me as I went through those clips. There was a lot of clips to get through today, but you've got to understand there was an insane amount of content to get through. So I hope I've aided and abetted you in some way in showing you what's happened today. And when you do get the time, please do go and look at those videos. Much love and respect to you all, and I shall see you tomorrow.